David Cassidy, man undercover, won't be seen tonight, so he can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is all about Hot Pursuit. Yeah, baby. You love that movie.
I'm going to say that most of you have probably never seen this.
Look, okay, we got to be square with y'all. We didn't realize there was an extra week this month.
Yeah.
So we had to pick an extra Cusack movie. And honestly, now this is something from my youth that I really dug. And I'll explain more on that later.
Yeah.
But it fits in. It doesn't have a lot of the magical aspects of these other
the kind of
crazy Cusacks.
Fantastical reality.
But it does have a pretty fantastical reality if you go by where the movie begins to where it ends is crazy. I mean, it's a crazy story.
It has it does have a really interesting story about, I mean, I had no idea who wrote and directed it, so that was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
But I had not seen this movie until we watched it to record this episode, and I am not a huge fan of this movie.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why I like this movie as a kid. Because this movie is every teenage boy's wish fulfillment.
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
You fail the test, but you go with your girlfriend to a tropical island, and then she's in trouble, so you got to rescue her and her family.
Sure.
And then, you know, so it's basically every dumb young boy's fantasy of being a hero and getting the girl and, getting some sexy time on a boat.
If I was 17 or 18, like you were when this came out, then sure, I would be all about this movie. But I watched it when I was 44, and it just doesn't have the same. All I saw was the fact that it was put together by a bunch of executives.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I saw. The whole
And
movie.
you didn't like John Cusack's hair. Let's be honest. That was a big roadblock for you, was his hair.
He just wasn't, at this point in his career, he wasn't being very Cusack-y. And it just, like he was trying something different, and I respect it, and I respect the movie, and it wasn't terrible.
Oh, there's a lot of Cusack moments in this movie.
There are.
The Cusack freakouts.
It takes a while to get there, but they're there. Yes.
The Cusack, what's going on?
Anyway, okay. So
Cusack frustrations.
It is. And we'll get to all this stuff. We'll talk about it and all this. But Hot Pursuit, have a chance to find it.
Hot Pursuit.
Take yourself back to 1987. February 20th, a second Unabomber bomb explodes at a Salt Lake City computer store in the United States, injuring the owner.
Yikes.
Do you remember all this stuff when it was happening? I don't remember any of this.
Oh, yeah. I 100% remember the Unabomber. That guy was, he was always kind of in the peripheral, on the back. You knew he was around, and every once in a while, just pop up and blow somebody's fingers off or something. I mean, I don't mean to be.
Yes.
It's
right,
horrifying for the people that were victims, but it was, he was one of those boogeymen.
Yeah.
That we had. I mean, you had a lot of boogeymen in the 70s and 80s.
I think that's why I never paid attention to it, because at that time it was like, oh, this is bad news, so I'm 10 and I'm going to ignore this.
Yeah, no, it was all around.
Yeah.
I like how you used a bombing. Because this movie is a bomb, is that what you're saying?
No,
is that
actually,
your subtle
I wrote that before
commentary?
I saw the movie, but yes. March 6th, Zeebrugge disaster. The roll-on, roll-off cross-channel ferry MS Herald of Free Enterprise capsizes off of the Zeebrugge harbor in Belgium. 193 people die.
Nice. That's a good one. You always gotta. There's a lot of death in your openings, buddy. You're a dark opener.
I'm a dark person.
And here's the darkest one of all coming up.
April 19th, The Simpsons cartoon first appears as a series of shorts on the Tracy Ullman Show.
Yeah, the moment of history when the world was a better place.
That is true. Look, I put all these in just so that you have a sense of where people were at.
I know.
On May 8th, when Hot Pursuit was released in theaters.
I get it. I just am going to say that possibly a little bit of a disaster fetish.
Look, this is not entirely my fault, because a lot of the news from back then focused on the bad stuff.
Well, because a lot of bad stuff was happening.
That's true. So, Hot Pursuit was developed by Pierre David and Steve Lisberger. Steve Lisberger, the name might sound familiar. I'll get to him in a second. Pierre David is a film producer. He is a Quebecois, being born in Montreal.
I'm from Quebec, and we have Canadian accents, and sometimes we have French accents because we speak French Canadian.
I am pretty sure that Pierre David had a French Canadian accent. There you go.
I am from French Canada. Oh, I make movies, not very good, but you will watch them. Maple syrup.
I don't know if the Quebecois do the maple syrup.
Have you
thing.
been to
No,
Quebec?
No.
I've been to Quebec.
I've never been to Canada.
Oh, it's beautiful. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
There are a lot of prostitutes
In Montreal?
and they're so polite. Hey there, you. Would you like some company, maybe? Oh, please. Oh, no, that's okay. If you're not into it, I get it. Okay. Would you like some back bacon? It's free.
Back bacon.
Okay, if you change your mind, I'm here and willing. It's only a couple of Quebecer dollars. I don't know what.
Even what this Quebecer dollars.
That's what they call their money.
Yeah.
Quebecer dollars.
Pierre David had two siblings that were heavily into French-Canadian politics, both of them serving on essentially their parliament. One of them currently serving in the parliament.
Do you know if they're conservative?
They were not. They were liberal.
Oh, nice.
They were both liberal.
Oh, yeah, very liberal.
David started producing French-Canadian films in 1971 at the age of 27.
That's very impressive.
Yeah. In 1979, he connected with David Cronenberg and produced The Brood.
Even more impressive.
Yeah. Followed by Scanners with David Cronenberg in 1981 and David Cronenberg's Videodrome in 1983.
Awesome with Blondie.
Yeah. So he's got some cred. Like
he has an eye for talent. Those are all great movies. And he hitched himself to Cronenberg, who, most people wouldn't do because he's a weirdo and his movies are weird. But I love him.
They are all weird. That is correct. Although after this, he did not work with David Cronenberg anymore. I think he went on to do more Hollywood stuff, which is why Pierre David was like, all right, I'm going to stay in Montreal and do my thing.
Makes sense.
Pierre David was credited as a production executive on Oliver Stone's Platoon.
Another great movie.
Most likely, this means he secured some funding by selling the international rights to foreign markets. You see executive producers listed, and a lot of that is just people that there were heads of companies and stuff. And the reason I say this about Pierre David is because in 1987, he formed Image Organization, a conglomerate of 4 companies to sell foreign rights to films, which he created this company, and because of it, he has over 200 producing credits to his name, and they produced a lot of straight home to video.
Sure.
Stephen Lisberger, if the name doesn't sound familiar, he attended Tufts University, graduating from the School of the Museum for Fine Arts in Boston. While attending Tufts University, Lisberger and 5 associates formed Lisberger Studios.
I partied at Tufts a few times.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't even realize it was in Boston.
Yeah? There's a lot of schools in Boston.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
There are. It is a very college-y town.
Well, it's also a big town, and it's like technically in Boston, but it's kind of like outside of Boston a little bit.
Oh, is it?
I guess. I don't know. I mean, the most Boston-y Boston is Boston University.
Right.
Because that's right in the heart of Boston. Boston College is outside of Boston.
And we just set the record for saying Boston the most times in less than a minute. Their first project of note from Lisberger Studios was Cosmic Cartoon, which earned a Student Academy Award nomination in 1973. It was also featured in a nationally released anthology film, Fantastic Animation Festival, in 1977. Through his company, Lisberger Studios, Lisberger directed the production of commercials, title sequences, and feature segments for programs such as Make-A-Wish, a children's television program produced by ABC News, and Rebop, a children's program on PBS produced by WGBH in Boston, with the final season being hosted by LeVar Burton. Never heard of either of these. Well, I mean, Make-A-Wish, obviously. I don't know if that's from the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
I don't think so.
Probably not. One of my earliest memories was being on a local Des Moines TV show. The guy had like a puppet, and I don't remember his name. I just remember being terrified of him.
You sure you were on a TV show and not just at an uncle's house?
My brother told a joke, and they tried to get me to do it, and I think I puked. Like, it was bad. Yeah.
Yikes.
It was not good.
I want to see that. Do you have video of that?
No, I don't think so.
Baby Adam puking?
It was one of my earliest memories. It had to have been like 1980 or 81. I mean, it was really early on.
Wow.
Yeah.
It explains quite a bit.
Floppy. I think his name was Floppy. I just... This is all rushing back now, and it's very bad.
Oh, yeah, your face is flush. God, oh no, he's puking. He's puking. He's cry puking.
In 1978, after moving to Venice, California, Lisberger and his business partner Donald Kushner conceived and produced a 90-minute animated film, Animalympics, for NBC's coverage of the 1980 Olympics. Now, why Lisberger might sound familiar is because they then turned their creative efforts to development of Tron for Disney.
Tron. I remember Animalympics, by the way.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, baby. Tron.
Yeah.
Not a good movie. Like, if you watch it again, it is not good. It's got some really cool effects for the time.
It's amazing how you're supporting my theories about Hot Pursuit.
Well, I got to tell you, I think Hot Pursuit might have been more entertaining than Tron. You take out all the light suits,
See, but this supports my theory that I saw Tron when I was super young, and it was amazing.
Oh, I was pretty young too when I saw it, and I liked it. I liked Tron because I liked arcade games.
It's not a good movie.
No, you watch it again, it's just like, oh my god. That was back when. Jeff Bridges wasn't quite Jeff Bridges.
No, he hadn't quite found himself yet. Yeah.
He wasn't that cool, Jeff Bridges.
No.
He was just kind of, hi, I'm Jeff Bridges. Oh, go up a trial.
Well, he was doing amazing work back then.
Starman, that.
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
Jeff Bridges has always been amazing.
But he just wasn't Jeff Bridges.
Well, there's different actors that have different stages in their career. Like, early Jeff Bridges is amazing. You know, he's a leading man. He's tough. He's doing great experimental work, he's doing stuff with Clint. He's doing what is that movie? Thunderbolt Lightfoot,
Oh yeah,
he's doing Starman.
Starman was so good.
He's doing stuff. No, but he was a leading man and really great.
Yeah.
And then as an older actor, he just became the coolest. I mean, look, Big Lebowski is a big reason for this.
Yeah.
But he's the coolest.
Yeah, he's
actor
just rad.
Ever.
He's just a rad dude.
Have you seen that show, Old Man?
No, not yet.
Oh, it was
Not
pretty
yet.
good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I heard that it started well and it got kind of boring.
Well,
so
I haven't gotten to the boring part. I'm only a couple episodes in. So,
okay.
But, F them. This guy's 110 years old doing crazy action stuff. It's like Born Grandpa.
110 years old.
It's like, the guy just survived cancer and he's beating the crap out of people. Give him a break, you morons.
Hey, one thing I really love, the trope of old men beating up people is one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. The Limey is one of my favorite
Gran
movies.
Torino, baby.
Gran Torino. I mean, it's
Get
just
off my lawn.
Especially as I get older, I just like watching old men beat up young people.
Yeah, because we're old and bitter because we're not young anymore, and we're not the hot trots. We're the oldie McOldies.
And we are the oldie McOldies.
It's fun being completely invisible when you go out places.
No one looks. Yeah.
No, it's great. I usually don't wear pants.
That's how you get away with stealing so much stuff.
Oh God, so much stuff.
Without wearing pants. It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's
where does he put it all? Where does he put it? I'm not telling.
So Hot Pursuit was Steve Lisberger's first writing and directing credit since making Tron. He went a full 5 years after Tron without being able to make anything in Hollywood.
Yeah, well.
Lisberger wrote the screenplay with Stephen W. Karabatsos.
Nice.
Karabatsos attended Cornell Law School. While at Cornell, he wrote a spec script for the medical drama Ben Casey.
Ben Casey.
Do you remember Ben Casey?
Oh, no. I never watched Ben Casey.
It aired on ABC from 1961 to 1966.
Yes, before my time.
The show was known for its opening titles, which consisted of a hand drawing the symbols, the male symbol, the female symbol, a star, a cross, and the infinity symbol on a chalkboard, as cast member Sam Jaff uttered,
"Man, woman, birth, death, infinity. Man, woman, camera, TV." It's like that Trump thing.
Chocolate, spoon, cheese,
man, woman. Yeah, he was just doing a cognitive test every opening part of the...
I do like that. That's literally the only thing that I could find about Ben Casey was the opening.
It was very popular. I don't remember who played Ben Casey. I know of it. I'm
pretty sure it was Sam Jaff.
Was it?
But don't quote me on that.
I mean, I know of it. I don't think I ever saw it. I mean, maybe if it was rerun, I would watch anything that was on that television.
Yeah. Well, sure, of course.
You're slave to whatever's on. Sometimes it probably was Ben Casey, and I'm like, oh, I hated all that stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I hated like Perry Mason.
Wait, when you were like 4, you didn't want to watch a medical drama?
I like medical dramas. I just thought that the law dramas were a little bit skewed to the
well, that's not how I would have argued that.
Yeah. Well, I was very big into law. No, but I like when you're home from school and you're sick.
Yeah.
And you're watching, you got your Mayberry, you got your Dick Van Dyke Show, you got all these great comedies, and then they muck it all up with an hour of Perry friggin' Mason to bore your ass to Perry Mason. I'm going to tell you. And then all you got to do is watch the very last minute of Perry Mason.
I know.
All right, stand up. You're the one who did it. You're the guilty guy, not the guy on the stand. I did it. Oh, yeah, that's right. Perry Mason. Case closed.
Please reference our Murder by Death episode that literally makes fun of just that. Yeah. Producer Jack Laird purchased the script for use from Stephen W. Karabatsos, and when he moved on to the college-based drama Channing, starring Yvonne Craig, Keir Dullea, Leslie Nielsen, and Suzanne Plachette,
nice,
he hired Karabatsos to ensure that the scripts remained college-oriented. I think Yvonne Craig was the only lead there. I think Keir Dullea, Leslie Nielsen, and Suzanne Plachette were all just kind of supporting characters. I don't know how much they were in it.
Okay.
There was actually somebody else who I'd never heard of that was a lead, and so I didn't put them in.
Oh, well, poor person.
Yeah.
That person's big shot is just ignored.
At the time, Karabatsos was 25 and long out of college by this point. So Karabatsos described himself as
technical advisor in charge of rah-rah.
And corresponded with his younger brother then at college, as well as visiting colleges in the Los Angeles area in order to keep up with current trends.
Yeah, let's find out what the kids are into.
Hey there, college-age student.
Oh, you got some Swatch watches? Is that what you're into? That and pegging your jeans and wearing Reebok high tops?
This was all before. This was like 1966.
Oh, hey, you kids into smoking cigarettes?
You wrap that Coke cigarette up in your arm, huh? Yeah. Karabatsos would write a bunch of episodes for Peyton Place and one episode of The Fugitive.
Nice. You know, I don't want to spoiler, but a man with one arm was the one who did it.
He was the killer? Well, Karabatsos was hired as story editor for the original Star Trek series. To welcome him to the production team, the show's creator Gene Roddenberry decided to prank him. When Karabatsos arrived for his first day, Roddenberry had arranged for a weather balloon to be inflated inside his office, preventing him from opening the door and getting inside. The joke was only revealed after Karabatsos struggled with the door for quite a while.
You get it? We put a weather balloon in your office. Isn't that funny?
It was 1966.
I don't find this funny at all.
That is exactly how Stephen W. Karabat, at the age of 26,
I
just like,
find this to be quite annoying.
Well,
please remove this weather balloon from my office. Toot sweet.
Apparently, every writer on the show did not like him as well and found him annoying because he would be fired 12 episodes later.
Probably never got over that prank.
He apparently liked to heavily rewrite everything on the show, and the writers were a little pissed off about it.
Yeah, that, especially somebody who's not a great writer. I don't know if he's a good writer or a bad writer, but even if he's a good writer, that kind of crap don't fly.
No. And especially with like people like Harlan Ellison, who is an amazing writer, and he was just like, look, man, I'm at the height of my game right now. What are you doing? He would go on to write some episodes of Kojak.
Baby. Yeah, Telly Savalas.
That's why I included it.
Yeah, my first, the first celebrity I ever met. And he was the greatest.
He was nice.
His necklace said Telepop.
Telepop. Karabatsos wrote the 1980 Disney movie The Last Flight of Noah's Ark, starring Elliot Gould, Genevieve Bujold, and Ricky Schroeder.
Yeah. We gotta get on the Ark. Oh my goodness. We're gonna build an Ark on a plane.
It featured a full-scale Boeing B-29 Superfortress bomber as the Ark, which they literally used as a boat with a giant sail on it. And I've never seen this movie, but I read about it, and it looks weird as hell.
It's the movie that radicalized Rick Schroeder. That's the most claim to fame.
He hid it for quite a long time. He tried to fit in, and
it was a seed that grew slowly but sprouted big.
Unhappy with how the script for Hot Pursuit was progressing, Pierre David brought in Tom Mankiewicz to help produce and do an uncredited rewrite of the script. Mankiewicz is the son of Joseph Mankiewicz.
I think it's Mankiewicz.
Mankiewicz? I think you're right. I just keep saying Manky.
Mankiewicz.
I think you're right. Mankiewicz.
Tomato.
He's the son of Joseph Mankiewicz, a writer and director who won both the Academy Award for Best Director and the Academy Award for Best Adapted Screenplay in consecutive years for A Letter to Three Wives in 1949 and All About Eve in 1950. And I didn't look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's never been duplicated since.
Yeah, well, big shoes to fill. Kid should have got into construction.
He was also the nephew of Herman Mankiewicz, who, with Orson Welles, wrote and won the Academy Award for Best Screenplay for Citizen Kane in 1941.
It's a sled.
Which I believe, I haven't seen it yet, but the movie Mank is about Herman Mankiewicz.
It's good. It's actually, it is good. And it is about him writing that movie.
Right.
It's a great movie. It was, I don't know, people probably didn't like it, whatever, but I really enjoyed it.
It's a David Fincher movie, right? Yeah. I still haven't seen it yet. I need to watch it.
I think it's on Netflix. I think it's a Netflix movie, but I really enjoyed it. I love all those old-time Hollywood movies about old-time Hollywood. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Babylon.
Oh, yeah, it'll be good.
That'll be good.
It'll be interesting, yeah. Mankiewicz would do rewrites on the Bond film Diamonds Are Forever in 1971.
Diamonds Are Forever.
This is Tom, the son, not the guy who did Citizen Kane.
Right.
But yes, he did rewrites on Diamonds Are Forever. Yes. And this began a long relationship with the Bond films. Mankiewicz received sole writing credit on the next, Live and Let Die, in 1973.
Live and Let now.
He shared credit on The Man with the Golden Gun in 1974.
Don't know that one.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was waiting for that.
Man with the golden gun.
He did an uncredited rewrite on The Spy Who Loved Me in 1977 and helped Broccoli and director Louis Gilbert get Moonraker off the ground in 1979.
I think The Spy Who Loved Me might be my favorite one. Isn't that one?
Spy Who Loved Me?
The Spy Who Loved Me.
I think so.
I
don't remember.
How does that go? I love that song so much.
They had actually hired him on Diamonds Are Forever because they were trying to get Connery to come back, and they thought because the Mankiewicz name would convince him to be like, it's going to be a great script. And
he said, I actually don't give a shit.
That is an exact quote. In 1975, Tom Mankiewicz wrote the screenplay for Mother Jugs and Speed, a dark comedy about ambulance drivers starring Bill Cosby, Raquel Welch, and Harvey Keitel.
Great movie. I have to say, such a weird movie. I think Cosby was Mother.
Oh, yeah.
And he was either Mother or Speed, but I think he was Mother.
Yeah.
I think we all know who Jugs was.
Yeah.
Harvey Keitel. And Speed was...
He just likes to carry jugs of milk.
No, it was this weird movie about these ambulance drivers.
Right.
It was... It's definitely something to see because it's very interesting. You got good performances by Harvey Keitel. And look, Bill Cosby is a monster. He's an absolute horrific monster.
I
But
thought you were going
before
to say monster of talent, but
before I knew he was a monster, he was one of my favorite actors of all time.
Look, he's a monster doesn't mean he's not a talented man. Yeah, I've never seen it. I have heard of it because of the title. How can you not? But I've never seen it, and I do need to watch it. Mankiewicz actually co-produced the film with director Peter Yates, who later asked Mankiewicz to come to the British Virgin Islands to do a major rewrite on Yates' next film, The Deep, with Robert Shaw and Jacqueline Bisset. From the guy who did the Jaws, whose name is escaping me.
Peter Benchley.
Peter Benchley, thank you.
It's they marketed it as like a Jaws ripoff.
Yeah.
The reason why I really love that movie, Nick Nolte's in it, and when Nick Nolte goes diving, he doesn't wear a wetsuit. He just wears his normal clothes. His jeans and his shirt. Just puts his diving equipment over his regular clothes.
Weird.
And just goes diving
How
down in the deep.
Weird. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty boring, but it's that struck me as so cool when I was a kid. I just like, oh, he doesn't need no wetsuit.
Weird. So the movie apparently, despite it being boring or the marketing was good, it was a huge box office success and cemented Mankiewicz's reputation as a script doctor.
Yeah, it was a huge success because of Jaws.
Yes. Yes.
Let's be honest.
It made money because they marketed it to look like Jaws. And Jaws
and Jacqueline Bisset in a skin tight white shirt.
Yeah.
You know, all wet.
Hey, what's that about TNA?
She's gorgeous.
Production value.
Yeah, everybody loved Jackie B back in the day.
Of course.
I still love Jackie.
Mankiewicz provided script notes during a season of Columbo at Peter Falk's request while not actually writing any scripts.
Excuse me, can you help out with the script, Sean?
This is literally the thing as a writer that I would want. Peter Falk said, hey, we need to get him on. And he literally just said, give me ideas.
Yeah.
And then everyone else wrote it. And for an entire for an entire year, Tom Mankiewicz got paid to literally just give ideas once a week.
Oh, I love that. I mean, script doctoring is the best thing in the world. It's so easy to improve on other people's work, especially some people's work.
Yeah.
You know, that's always been the dream. Like, you sell a screenplay, and then you can be a script doctor. Because you can, if you're a good script doctor, you can make $250,000 for 2 months, for like a 3 weeks work.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
You never get any credit.
No, but you know who was one of the best script doctors in the biz?
Who?
Carrie Fisher.
Oh, yeah.
She was a master.
I heard about, yeah. Mankiewicz did, Mankiewicz did script doctoring for a series of movies, Superman the movie and Superman 2. He did some rewrites on Gremlins. He did rewrites on The Goonies. He did rewrites on War Games. And then finally on Lady Hawk.
Should have done a few more rewrites on Lady Hawk. No, actually, Lady Hawk's a good movie.
It's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
I love Rucker Hauer.
And I'm Matthew Broderick, and I've got to. Hey, she turns into a hawk, and he turns into a dog. They do different times. I gotta pass messages. Oh boy, Biloxi Blues.
He often is quoted as just ending his sentences.
He
with
does.
Biloxi Blues.
They had to cut it out of the movies because he just does
just
it like
kept
Rain
doing
Man.
it.
It's
It's like,
weird.
wow.
It's like,
Oh boy, oh, Ferris Bueller.
And they finally had a script they liked.
it's all doctored up.
All doctored up. Pierre David and Steven Lisberger started to go to casting. They ended up casting John Cusack as Dan Bartlett, the lead character.
We forgot a John Cusack movie, not super recently, but recently enough, that is part of his whole Crazy Cusack's Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a great
yeah.
movie. And it was so sad that he didn't show up for the sequel. But Hot Tub Time
Yeah.
Machine was so much fun.
It was a great movie, and it was totally making fun of these movies that he was in.
Yes,
like it was
Great
great.
White Buffalo.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, that was the beauty of it, is because it was basically him revisiting his crazy Cusack youth.
I have a feeling we'll be talking about Hot Tub Time Machine when we do One Crazy Summer.
Oh, that's it's a threat or a promise.
That's both. Yeah, okay. They actually originally considered Anthony Michael Hall for the lead role in Hot Pursuit.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall was another guy who was sick of playing the skinny nerd and was looking for a change and looking to become the leading man. And then he bulked up and did Johnny Be Good, where he played a football guy and ruined his career.
I had a fun night at the Whaler in Venice, hanging out with Anthony Michael Hall. We drank all night together.
Really?
He ended up going home with a friend of mine, and they ended up dating for like 4 months.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we literally just hung out and drank for
nice?
like 5 hours. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, he came into the shop a few times back when I worked at that photo shop.
Yeah.
And he was a really great guy. He looks so old. Like he's my age.
Yeah, he has aged not gracefully.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's.
You know what's really funny? I love Anthony Michael Hall, by the way, and he had a great career. He did that Stephen King series. What's really funny is there's another actor whose name I do not know who looks exactly like him, and
really?
he shows up on. He's more of a TV guy,
Yeah,
and he shows up on everything, and I'm always like, is that him?
Nope.
Is that him? And it's like, nope, it's not. It's the other guy whose name I should probably know because he seems to show up. He kind of stole Anthony Michael Hall's career.
Yeah, yeah. It's really hard when you're that young and you shine that brightly for people to then accept you doing anything else.
Well, also, in being that young and just being the world's biggest nerd, that's not a moniker a young man wants.
No,
that doesn't get you the ladies or the men or whatever you're after. You want to expand your career. You want to be the leading man, especially as a young man. I think this is the same kind of thing that Cusack was going through.
Exactly. I do believe that because Cusack had just come off One Crazy Summer, the Savage Steve Holland movie, which we'll be talking about next week, which he was sore how Holland portrayed him in Better Off Dead. It seems like he really wanted to do a Tom Cruise risky business type leading role.
Yeah.
Like he was searching for this. When he got asked to do it, he said, sure,
He said, hey, it's a sure thing.
Plus, Plus, it was from, Lisberger, and people loved Tron back then. Like, it was gaining cult status. And
Look, reading the script is like I said, it's a love story to horny teenage boys.
Yeah.
It's a wish fulfillment. And him reading the script and being like, oh, wow, I get to be on a boat and I get to grab a machine gun and
they shot in Jamaica.
And I get to go to Jamaica and I get to do all these stunts and stuff. And,
it's a very alluring script.
It makes him look like a badass.
Badass, exactly. They cast Robert Loggia as Mac McLaren.
Robert Loggia. One of my favorite Family Guy running jokes is, I'm Robert Loggia. R as in Robert Loggia. O as in, oh boy, that's Robert Loggia. B as in, baby, look at Robert Loggia. It's just, because he's got such a distinctive voice. I've loved Robert Loggia since the moment I saw him on screen. He's just got this thing about him that is so captivating. Yeah. Whether he's playing a Cuban in Scarface or whether he's playing a gruff weirdo captain in this movie.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
He is the most un-Loggia-like in this movie that I've ever seen him.
He's gruffly charming and weird. It's just a weird performance. He's a weird little man in this that you can't help but love.
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole movie's weird, but yes. I loved him in this. I thought he was fantastic. He started acting in the mid-'50s in TV and film. He was never pigeonholed by types. He just honestly seemed like he loved acting and would take any part that sounded interesting. Previously to Hot Pursuit, he did Psycho 2 and Scarface in 1983.
You're a psycho.
He was great in that movie. And for the first time, I just watched that recently, and his death scene literally made me gasp out loud. Like, I was so shocked by it.
I have to watch that again. It's been a while.
Scarface is fantastic. Obviously, two very different parts.
Yes. And one he's playing a Cuban.
And the other, he's a psychiatrist. And the other,
refugee.
Yeah.
Nobody more Cuban than him, except for maybe Al Pacino.
1985, he did Prizzy's Honor and Jagged Edge. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for Jagged Edge.
Both great movies.
Yeah.
Both great movies. Prizzy's Honor is so much fun to watch Angelica Houston and Jack Nicholson and Robert Loggia. It's just so much fun. And Jagged Edge is a great thriller. Yeah. It was like that. That was during that time of like, it was just an embarrassment of riches for thrillers. You had like The Jagged Edge, and you had what's that Glenn Close one?
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction, and you had Presumed Innocent with Harrison Ford.
Oh,
It was just all these great adult thrillers. That were just grown-up movies. Really fun stuff.
Yeah, totally. It was a good time for that. Armed and Dangerous and That's Life in 1986.
That's Life.
Armed and Dangerous with John Candy, and That's Life had I don't remember now.
I remember the title. I don't remember the movie.
It was not. Again, though, very different roles he was playing.
Armed and Dangerous was not very good.
No, it was not a good movie.
Hollywood did not do justice by John Candy.
No, they did not.
A bit they did, but man.
I mean, he had a great career, but
just when he was starting to get going, he died. Just when he was, his part in JFK is just dripping with awesomeness.
His second act would have been incredible.
Yeah, it would have been all these great drama movies. He just would have. It's just
great.
So sad. He was such a talent.
Yeah. Robert Loggia actually had 4 other movies released in 1987.
I had 4 movies.
5 technically with
5. Robert Loggia. 5 movies.
Grit your teeth. Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone.
Hey, you can take my kid in my truck. If you're gonna go, we're gonna arm wrestle. I'm gonna arm wrestle across the country and make money for my kid.
Such an absolutely ridiculous movie, but
it's over the top.
It was directed by Manahem Golan of the Cannon Group.
Yeah, did he ever direct anything again?
Happily, he directed everything terribly and loved it, and they all made money.
Over the Top.
The Believers with Martin Sheen and Helen Shaver.
That was good. That was weird, man. That's about a cult. That was fun.
Yeah.
Movie.
I've never seen it. I want to see it.
Oh, it's good.
I think it looks interesting. Gabby, A True Story with Rachel Chagall. It was about a Hispanic woman, and I don't know anything about this movie.
Gabby.
And an uncredited role in Amazon Women on the Moon in 1987.
So that was a fun movie too. It wasn't as good as Kentucky Fried Movie, but it was by the same guys, I believe.
No,
it wasn't.
No, I believe Amazon Women on the Moon was not because I would have seen it then, and I've never seen it.
You've never seen Amazon Women? There's some good bits in there. The best bit, the one that I remember the most, is Ed Begley Jr. It was a black and white. It was The Invisible Man.
Yeah.
And so Ed Begley Jr. thinks he's the Invisible Man. They shot it like impeccably, he takes off all his clothes. He's not invisible. He's just a crazy guy running around naked who thinks he's like, ooh, I'm invisible. You can't see me. Ooh. And he's like doing weird stuff in front of people's face. And you're just like, why is this naked guy in front of me being weird? It was great. It was really funny. It's a funny movie.
I'll have to check it out because I love that type of movie, and it's one of those I know I should have seen already.
Yeah,
but
you'll dig it.
Yeah.
The Amazon Women on the Moon part is great too because it's a great 50s takeoff of those awful sci-fi
bad B movies. Yeah.
Hey Skipper, what are we gonna do with these Amazon women on the moon? We better get the machine guns. Oh, there's a monkey with us. Oh, come on, monkey.
There's always a monkey in those movies. I think there was a monkey in there.
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me. Robert Loggia went on to do 1.5 billion things. He was in everything. Unfortunately, he passed from Alzheimer's in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
He was great, though.
That was a sad, sad day.
You will never see anything bad from Robert Loggia. He makes everything he's in better.
Yeah, even if the movie's POC.
Yep.
He is prime beef, baby.
He is amazing.
Robert Loggia.
Commits so well. He did a great job in Hot Pursuit.
He must be exhausted after. It's like his whole body is. It's always tense.
Wendy Gazelle as Laurie Cronenberg. This was Gazelle's first feature film credit. She was the girlfriend he was chasing after. She was the one he was pursuing. She appeared in the on-screen fictional soap opera in Remo Williams' The Adventure Begins in 1985. Nice. Yeah, it's a great movie. She also appeared in an episode of The Cosby Show in 1987. Gazelle has steadily worked in TV since then. She can currently be seen in NCIS Los Angeles.
She's great in that. There's something else she was in the 80s that was big that I can't remember. But I remember her from something else. But she was really fun. She was way too good for John Cusack's character.
Yes. So much. Yes, so much
But
so.
it's like, I love how, and does it ever really pay off? Because they have her introduction to the movie is John Cusack is a high school prep school student.
Yes.
He's at his private school studying for his chemistry exam, I believe.
Yes.
And he's got to pass it, because if he doesn't pass it,
he's got to do
doesn't get
summer
to go
school.
on screen break.
Yeah.
And he's got to take a makeup test or whatever.
Right.
And so intercut with him studying is this ninja making their way through the campus, ninja style.
Yeah.
And they ninja through the window, and it's his lady. And she's like, hey, come on, let's go give some kissy. He's like, I got to study. And she's like, well, you a jerk. And it's like, whoa, I mean, you're going away with him tomorrow. He's got to pass the test. Why are you being a jerk about it?
You can literally, you're going to be in Jamaica. You can just disappear for 3 days with him and do whatever you want.
Yes. But they needed a conceit to have.
But the ninja skills did pay off, because she had to climb to the top of that building at the end.
Yes.
To do something.
Yes. That's how it did. Yeah, because she does she's a gymnast.
Yeah.
That's her thing.
Yeah. But she was great in this. She was great.
Oh, adorable. Great actor. I remember her fondly from the 80s. I remember her from a bunch of stuff. I just can't put my finger on what it was. But she was great in this movie.
Yeah. Jerry Stiller got cast as Victor Honeywell, the pirate.
Victor Honeywell is another guy with a voice. God, between him and Loggia, could you imagine having dinner with the two of them? It'd be like a gravel pit.
Just climbing out of the gravel. Stiller got to start as part of the comedy duo of Stiller and Mira with his wife, Ann Mira. He's most well known for playing George Costanza's father in the TV show Seinfeld.
Yes, coming up with Festivus.
To modern audiences, I should say. He's known as...
A holiday for the rest of us.
Yeah, Festivus.
He and his wife are also... they played husband and wife on the Paul Lynde Show.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They did.
Adam wrote a play, a small play.
Yeah.
That I ended up playing Paul Lynde in, and so I had to spend a lot of time doing my Paul Lynde research. And I saw them, and they were the funniest effing couple.
Oh yeah,
ever. Them and Elaine May and what's his name? He directed everything. Nichols. Mike Nichols.
Yes.
Mike Nichols and Elaine May. They're another. They and Mira and. I was going to say Costanza.
Stiller.
They were the two best husband and wife teams. Burns and Allen.
Gracie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. Yeah.
But Burns and Gracie was a very like.
It was a different kind of. Yeah.
But Mira and
Stiller.
Jesus.
You just can't.
Stiller and Mira were very contemporary for the time. They were this, bickering. You would think that they hated each other the way that they played off each other all the time, but they loved each other. It's just like such a great marriage, such a great team. That's the only way I would ever get married, I think, is if I married my comedy partner, and then we used it as fuel for our act.
Your act. Yeah. Stiller would go on to play a recurring part in The King of Queens, which I think he got nominated for an Emmy for that, if I remember correctly.
He was the father-in-law.
Yeah.
And he did a lot of yelling.
He did. It was a very similar character to Seinfeld. He has appeared in a number of movies with his son Ben. This was the first time they'd acted together.
Nice.
And they acted together quite a bit, actually. They were in like half a dozen movies together.
Well, wouldn't you do it? I mean, if I liked my dad, I would be in every movie with him.
Pretty much everything Ben Stiller did. Not everything, but a lot of stuff he did. He would just be like, yeah, come do this thing.
Of course. And his mom, too. She would show up and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, Jerry Stiller passed in May of 2020 from natural causes.
Yeah, so sad.
Both
Mira and Ann Mira didn't die that long ago. It was just a few years ago.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
It's got to be tough, man. I can't imagine being with somebody for like 40 or 50 years and then them dying, and like what a insane change that would be. Just like the emptiness.
I say this story a lot, but my great grandmother was with her husband for 45 years, and he died when she was like 63, and then she lived to be like 104.
Good Lord.
And so she was literally without him as long as she was with him. Like, it just blew my mind when I realized that when I was young. I was like, oh my God. Like,
Did she ever get remarried?
No. Ben Stiller was cast as Chris Honeywell, the son of Victor Honeywell. This was his feature film debut. This was also the only movie that Stiller and Cusack have ever appeared together in.
Huh.
Which is interesting, because they were kind of all part of that frat pack kind of thing. And
Stiller was
kind of,
Cusack was always on the
Yeah,
on the edge.
He was
like,
kind of,
And anytime Cusack's a weirdo, and I love him to death. But like anytime he would do something mainstream, like when he did Con Air, he's like, I'll do it, but my character has to wear sandals.
Yeah.
Like, okay, weirdo. We'll
find
put sandals on your dumb character. If that, and I'll do this big budget movie, but I got to have some quirky request to give me cred. And I love John Cusack, but come on, man, sandals.
Yeah. When he was approximately 15, Ben Stiller obtained a small part with one line on the television soap opera Guiding Light.
That line was, what?
He has come out saying that he was awful on the show.
Well, he was 15. Give him a break.
15. He was later cast in a role on the 1986 Broadway revival of John Guar's The House of Blue Leaves alongside John Mahoney. Ooh. The production would garner 4 Tony Awards.
John Mahoney worked with John Cusack on Say Anything.
Oh, yeah. And I don't want. I'm not going too deep into Ben Stiller because I know that at some point in the future we're going to be doing a Ben Stiller movie, so I want to talk more about him there. The House of Blue Leaves with John Mahoney was the beginning of what became the Ben Stiller show.
Oh, really?
It sounds weird, but he was doing a bunch of he did a mockumentary thing with John Mahoney called based off of The Color of Money. It was about bowling, and then and that got him on SNL, which then got him on to MTV,
right.
and then
he did his own Color of Money parody on that.
Yes,
he liked to play Tom Cruise.
Since Hot Pursuit, his films have grossed more than $2.6 billion in Canada and the United States, with an average of $79 million per film.
Well, that's not too bad, eh?
The Canadians love Ben Stiller.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's a funny fella.
He's gone on to directing, and I don't know if he writes Severance or not. I don't know if he does, but he just won an Emmy literally just a couple days ago for Outstanding Drama Series and Outstanding Directing in a Drama Series for Severance.
Did he win any Emmys for Escape from Dannemora?
I don't know.
He should have.
I want to say I know it was nominated for stuff, but good. I don't remember if
it was so effing good.
I need to watch that still.
That guy, Ben Stiller, makes me angry because he has had the greatest career. He got to do sketch. He got to do his own, Saturday Night Live type of his own parody show. Yeah. And he got to do all these great comedies and work with all these great people. And now he's an amazing filmmaker.
Yeah. He was in some of the hugest comedies of all time.
Oh, my God. Hilarious. Meet the Parents.
And
Dodgeball. And
the model one.
Yeah. Whatever that is. The Blue Steel.
The supermodel one. Yeah.
But yeah, that guy.
He's had an amazing career.
He's just, nobody does. Oh, Something About Mary. Let's not forget that.
Oh, yeah.
That pretty much launched him into
those
the
comedies.
Yeah. But just so good at playing hapless. So good at playing a nice guy who just gets S'd on all the time. Nobody takes S better than Ben Stiller. He's just a master at it. He's a master at comedy. And that type, because comedy is precision, man. Yeah. And it's timing, and it's not easy. Comedy is so much harder than drama. Drama's just crying and being whatever. Drama's easy as F. Right. Comedy is hard. And I think his master of comedy is what makes him such a good director, because it's all the little details.
He knows the beats.
Exactly.
And he knows when stuff is good and works, and
Now, it's surprising that he had such a great career when his first film role was such a grosso.
Was the total opposite of everything you just said. He was so off-putting. I literally had to turn to Jim after his first line and be like, how did this man have a career?
Yeah.
Now, granted, he played the part very well.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Very well.
He's probably the best in the show.
The skeeziest, grossest character I've ever seen.
So gross.
He's so rapey in this movie. It is so disgusting.
He really nailed that part. You know when an actor nails a part so well that you get the skeeves from him?
Yeah.
I had the skeeves from him for a long time after, because that was the first thing I saw him in.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's Skeevy McSkeever? And
Skeevy McSkeevy.
and I was like, oh, that's that kid from The Guiding Light. The one that said,
That one line.
Where's my baseball?
Monty Markham was cast as Bill Cronenberg, the father of the girlfriend.
what a great name.
Monty Markham.
I'm surprised he wasn't a game show host.
He sounds like a Monty host.
With your host, Monty Markham.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. And welcome to Tidbits.
He had the title role on Jim's favorite show, The New Perry Mason, in 1973.
Well, that's a new Perry Mason,
Yeah, it wasn't the
which
old
was
one.
worse.
Monty Markham also had the role of the racing car driver turned cyborg Barney Miller in the second season episode of The $6 Million Man entitled The $7 Million Man,
Oh,
which
baby.
first aired in November of 1974. Do you remember this?
Yes, yes. Oh, I love that show so much. And it's weird that Barney Miller, the cyborg, went on to run a precinct in in New York. But
Or this is what happened to Barney Miller.
they had so many weird
Turned
cyborgs,
to-
man.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant played Bigfoot.
Really?
And Bigfoot ended up being a cyborg. It was like
Weird.
so. You gotta watch the show, man.
I know. We're going to do an episode on it eventually. I just want to watch the whole show first. It'll come. It'll be sometime in 2023. We'll tease it now.
That's what the bionic sounded like.
Right.
That was
I
him
do-
picking up stuff.
Feel like I watched the pilot episode at one point during a lockdown. I feel like I watched it. Monty Markham also had a role in Airport 77. Please check out our disaster movies episode.
Yeah.
It's a great episode.
Okay.
It is.
It is pretty good.
It is. He's worked steadily in TV and B movies over the course of his career, making appearances on
The Fall Guy, Fantasy Island, Heart to Heart, The Love Boat, and Simon and Murder, She Wrote. I don't know why I said and twice, but he played 4 different characters on Murder, She Wrote.
he appeared on Murder, She Wrote 4 times, playing 4 different characters.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Law and Order thing. Like,
Yeah.
if you ever binge watch Law and Order, you'll see like the same actor play 8 different characters and end up being a series
Yeah.
regular as a cop.
Yeah.
He goes from pedophile to rapist to victim to cop. That's the
same issue I had with The Love Boat.
Yeah?
Watching The Love Boat, eventually you're like, man, I love this character. He's somebody else.
right, because you're watching it like they'd come back like 3 seasons
Yeah,
later and
yeah.
you'd forget. It's not like, people binge watch that stuff.
Right. Monty Markham is still making movies at the age of 87 with his last film credits in 2020.
Nice. 87, good lord.
Yeah, he's still out there working hard. Shelley Fabre as Buffy Cronenberg.
Buffer.
That was the mother. She is best known for her television roles as Mary Stone on the sitcom The Donna Reed Show from 1958 to 1963.
Oh, yes. A sitcom.
Sitcom, yes. In 1962, her recording of Johnny Angel reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart.
Johnny Angel. I don't know how that one goes.
That was close.
Really?
That was real close, yeah.
They all sounded like that. Everything back then.
Yeah, it was just Johnny Angel, Johnny Angel. Yeah, sorry, I keep singing. I don't know why I do that.
You're good. That's why. You
She,
hit the soprano well, man.
she appeared in a couple of Elvis movies, Girl Happy in 1965 and Spin Out in 1966.
Oh, I'm spinning out, baby. I'm spin out.
I think he was a race car driver, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, I turned out he was like an ad executive who was having a breakdown.
Or he was a heroin addict.
I'm spinning out. Oh, give me some more.
Fabre said she went through a period where she struggled to find work.
I went to bed on Tuesday, having worked since I was 3. I got up on Wednesday morning and didn't work for 4 years. Went to bed Wednesday night, 4 years, got up and interviewed for a Mannix episode and started working again. I think this business is very cyclical. You go through busy times and you go through dead times.
She, after that Mannix episode, literally was working nonstop and still does.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
I loved her in Coach.
Yeah, she played Christine Armstrong on Coach from 89 to 97,
such a
and she
good
won
show.
2 Primetime Emmy Awards. Or she got nominated twice, Primetime Emmy Awards. But Coach was that was a show that one of the first sitcoms I remember like loving.
Yeah. And it had one of my favorites. It had Jerry Van Dyke.
Jerry Van Dyke was
The
great.
underrated Van Dyke brother who was
so-
so funny.
So funny.
And Craig T. Nelson, man, ever since I don't know what the first thing I saw him in, but I loved him. He is just
Yeah.
such a great actor. He's got like a Harrison Ford quality to him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, my favorite role of his, I think, is probably Poltergeist.
Yeah,
Because he's
yeah.
the coolest dad in the world.
Yeah.
Smoking dope and, helping his kids. He's just so cool. And Coach was such a great show. And
Coach was fantastic.
And he was amazing on Parenthood too,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
a really good show. Like I came to that late and started watching that, but man, as the patriarch of the family, he still has it.
Oh, he's great. He's a fantastic actor. Dave Shodan as Ginger Cronenberg. Dave made her acting debut in Emerald Point NAS in 1984, also starring
Robert Loggia.
Yeah, he was actually on that for the entire season. He was in like 26 episodes.
Nice.
It was just something Robert Loggia did in between movies.
Robert Loggia showed up. Let's put him in.
She also appeared in the Uncle Buck TV show in 1990.
I remember that.
I don't remember that at all.
I think it was David Roebuck.
Oh, God. Or Daniel Roebuck?
Daniel Roebuck. No, I don't know if it was him. But it was somebody that was like a cheap
A John Candy knockoff.
yeah.
She stopped acting in 99. She doesn't have any credits after that, so I don't know what Dave Chodan is doing right now.
Well, if you're listening, Dave, give us an update.
Yeah. Keith David is Alfonso, the Jamaican in the movie. Not David Keith.
Not David Keith.
Keith David made an uncredited appearance in 1979 film Disco Godfather.
Oh, yeah, baby. Keith David, David Keith. I always get those. They couldn't be more diametrically opposed as actors.
Yeah.
Because David Keith, he's just like a good old boy. He was in Officer and a Gentleman. Ended up hanging himself, I think, in that movie. Spoiler alert!
Oh.
But yeah, I love both those actors, and I've always wanted to see Keith David and David Keith star in a movie together, top billing,
Yeah.
and just be starring the Keiths, Davids.
The Keiths and the Davids. Yeah. He made a memorable appearance in John Carpenter's The Thing in 1982, his first speaking role in a film.
Oh, and what a voice. I love his voice. And The Thing is my favorite horror movie of all time. And it is such, to me, a perfect movie. And the gross still holds up.
Oh.
All of that grossness.
So gross.
And I just love the fact. And this wouldn't be made today. They wouldn't be able to make it today. I don't think anybody in that movie was under 50, except for maybe the star,
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
He was definitely under 50.
He was under 50, but everybody else was like, it was a bunch
Oh,
of
you mean
middle-aged
everybody
men.
else was over 50.
It was
I
just
see
a
what
bunch
you're
of
saying.
middle-aged
Okay.
dudes. You know, you had Wilford Brimley, and you had all these old guys. It was just a movie with a bunch of old weirdos, and it was still the greatest movie ever.
This is the thing. They all looked older. You do realize that when Wilford Brimley did Cocoon, he was 51.
Yeah, I know. But they all look like they're in their 50s.
I know.
And some of them were olders, like the Doc and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, but it's not. Regardless, your statement is true. Right. They still would not cast a movie like that now.
No, they should. They should do it with like
100% should.
Bryan Cranston and
God, yes.
and Batman. What's his name?
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, who just won an Emmy.
I was going to say, which Batman?
Yeah, exactly. The oldest one.
Adam West? No, he's not
they'd have to dig him up for that. But yeah, I think
it's disappointing that the only way they do this now is that it has to be like The Expendables. Like it's an action movie where everybody's old and beating up people. Which, granted, you think I would like that movie? Whatever.
It's soulless. It's a soulless piece of crap.
In a total change of pace, the next year, Keith David played Keith the Handyman on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for 9 episodes.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Keith David also had a role in Oliver Stone's Platoon in 1986.
So good.
Platoon's a great movie. Since Hot Pursuit, he's appeared in a ton of movies and TV shows. My favorite role of his on They Live, another John Carpenter movie.
Oh, yeah.
With a 14-minute fight sequence.
And don't forget, he was in the movie with our good friend Ben Stiller, There's Something About Mary. How'd you get the Franks in front of the beans? How'd you get the Franks over the beans?
He was such an amazing surprise in that movie and so fantastic.
He's fantastic in everything. There's this, this is a speed bump, I know, but it's this Keith David speed bump, or David Keith. Is it David Keith?
Keith David.
Keith David, Jesus. So I've been trying to watch this stupid movie called Unplugging on Hulu, and it stars Eva Longoria and this guy from the state, whose name I forget, but he's really funny. He's this bald guy. And every time I tried to click on it, it would take me to another movie. For days it would do this.
Wow.
And I gave up. So I tried again last night. I started watching this movie, and Keith David's in it.
Nice.
And he's hilarious. He plays this bar owner in this out in the middle of nowhere. I didn't finish the movie. I got a little bored. I'll probably finish it. But it's just so, anytime Like you said,
Yeah,
anytime
yeah.
he pops up at a movie, it's pure joy.
Yeah, Paul Bates was cast as Cleon. His a small part. The only reason I included it was because he's best known for his part in Coming to America. He's worked steadily since Hot Pursuit. Currently can be seen in the video game Horizon Forbidden West.
Ooh, who has?
Hamda or something like that.
Okay.
I don't think that I've gotten to his character yet.
Oh my god, I started playing that.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
We'll talk about it on the Stepdad show.
Well, I'll look for him.
Yeah. He's really recognizable because as soon as I saw him in Hot Pursuit, I was like, hey, it's the guy from Coming to America. Yeah, he still works consistently. He works a lot now.
He's great. I think he was in the sequel.
Yeah.
Of Coming to America.
Coming to America 2, Coming to
I think it was
America?
Coming to America.
No,
with
it's,
the
just,
letter-
it's hard to
number
describe the sequel when you're on the podcast. Yeah. So the movie made $4.2 million off a $4 million budget.
Ooh, $200,000 profit.
On Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a score of 0% based on reviews from 5 critics.
All right. It's not a 0.
Mankiewicz actually said about the movie,
Everyone came out fine from the film, especially Cusack and Ben Stiller, who went on to bigger and better things. Everybody was fine. Didn't ruin any careers.
yeah. This is the last film that Steven Lisberger would write and direct. He did direct Slipstream in 1989, starring...
Mark Hamill, Bill Paxton, Bob Peck, Kitty Aldridge, Ben Kingsley, and F. Murray Abram.
Do you remember this movie at all? Slipstream?
Yes, I do. I remember.
Sci-fi movie.
I remember it from working in a video store. I don't know if I watched it. I probably did because I watched everything back then. But I remember when that movie came in.
I think this was the first sci-fi movie that Mark Hamill did after Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
Which was like, it was like 6 years later, but that was the big thing because one of the producers on Slipstream had helped produce Empire and Jedi.
Oh.
And so they were like, hey, we're going to make this magic again. Unfortunately, the movie was a critical and commercial failure.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
Lisberger has literally did not work then for almost 20 years, at least nothing that he got credited for. He would produce and appear in Tron Legacy, and he's currently developing another Tron sequel.
Do we need it? Tron Legacy was not a good movie. Let's be honest here.
I mean, it's
It wasn't
a
good.
sequel to not a great movie to begin with.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
Do we need mediocre sequels to mediocre movies? I know that Tron has nostalgia. I got nostalgia for it. I mean, look,
Sure.
I loved it because it was a video game movie and we all wanted to be inside a video game.
Yeah.
But it's like the black hole, man. It just was bad execution. It just
Yeah,
wasn't a very entertaining film. There was a lot of movies back then, these big budget movies, and I'm looking at you, Disney, that just were boring cash grabs. The black hole. I have like the action figures from the black hole,
Yeah.
but I didn't like the movie. I like the suits. I like the costumes, and they didn't come with guns, so I had to make guns for them.
Yeah.
That's how
yeah.
boring this sci-fi
Wow.
movie is. They didn't have any guns. I just remember there was 2 robots. There was this little floaty robot, and there was this big mean robot. And you got to watch it. We'll do a
black
movie.
hole
We'll do a movie about
episode.
it. We'll do an episode about the black hole.
Please, no movie about the black hole.
Yeah.
Did you have figurines from, action figures from the last flight of Noah's Ark?
Oh yeah, I had the Ark. 2x2, baby.
Take it
Animals
into
all
the
way
tub with
through.
you and look at
did.
this. Pretend you're Ricky Schroeder.
I always pretend like I was Ricky Schroeder.
You
especially
still pretend
Silver
like you're Ricky
Spoons.
Schroeder.
Yeah, I get online and rant.
So my main complaint with Hot Pursuit, and that's it. That's all I have for the script. Just talk about
enough.
this. We'll wrap it up. My main complaint is that it felt like it was a movie put together by a guy who was trying to sell rights to the movie.
Okay.
Like it didn't quite work. Like it had some odd pacing, and like I enjoyed it, and definitely there were parts of it I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, Jerry Stiller was great. Ben Stiller was creepy and skeezy.
Was Jerry Stiller great though?
I mean,
I love Jerry Stiller, but this was not one of Jerry Stiller's best performances.
He definitely kind of stuck out. Like his performance was a little different.
He phoned
than
it
everybody.
in.
Yeah,
He phoned it
okay.
in. I think. I mean, it was a more mellow Jerry Stiller performance. I mean, it was still had elements of his Jerry Stiller-ish, but
it was also. I mean, he didn't. I mean, granted, I don't know Jerry Stiller previous to Hot Pursuit. Other than the one episode of the Paul Lynde show that I saw.
Well, he was. That's who he was. He was just this great energy ball of.
Right. Okay. So he was always like that.
Yeah.
He was always like
especially with his wife. I mean, their whole shtick was like, we hate each other,
screaming at each other, and it's
funny.
funny.
Yeah. But I mean, when they played not when they did like their shows and stuff, not when they were playing themselves, but when they played a couple, they were usually the couple that was not happy, and the couple that was sniping at each other, or the couple that was divorced or divorcing, or because they were so good at it.
Yeah, and they obviously had a very good relationship. I did my one Ben Stiller story. I was working on a pilot his wife Christine was starring in, and he called up to ask in the production office where he could send flowers to his wife because he was so happy that she got this part, and he was so nice. He was such a nice guy.
He took his daughter to the Emmys.
Nice.
Where he won.
Yeah.
And she just gushed about how great he is.
Yeah, I mean, but Hot Pursuit, I understand why Cusack did it. I understand. I think it was necessary for him. I think this is very much at the bottom of the list of Cusack movies that I would watch again.
Yeah.
I would literally watch Serendipity again before I would watch Hot Pursuit.
See, that's just wrong. At least there's fun and joy in Hot Pursuit. Look, I get it. There's, like I said, and we go over this ad nauseum, but things that you watch as kids don't always translate to good films because there's a nostalgia to them. There's a certain period of time. There's a certain part of your development in your brain or whatever that clicks you onto that at that time. The reason why I think I like it, I have a soft spot for movies that are just freaking ridiculous. And like I said, this movie starting out at a prep school with a kid studying for his chemistry exam and ending up, on a sailboat with his girlfriend and some crazy old crusty captain jumping off so they can do it for 3 days.
Jumps in the middle of the ocean.
All right, kids, get your willy wet. And then, but there's so much crazy stuff. Like him getting shanghaied. It's like, who shanghais in this century? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's dumb and it's goofy. But the charm of Cusack, the absolute lovability of Keith David, and the perfection of Robert Loggia. Makes it watchable and fun. I mean, tell me you didn't have a little bit of fun watching this movie.
Sure, I had a little bit of fun.
But I think you would have a lot more fun if you watched it when you were 14.
Yes, I agree.
And you still had the desires and dreams of a young man, and weren't a bitter old man like me, where all your dreams have dried up and died, and you're just slowly waiting to pass away.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Anyway, watch it. Look,
give it a watch.
This is not
the main issue. Is that it's not available on anything right now.
Right,
so
it's tough to find.
You'd have to go to the library or something and try to see if it's around.
Yeah, it's tough to find. And look, don't spend days trying to find this movie because you'll just be mad at us. Me, mostly, not Adam. At least he warned you.
You can email us at genxfilespodcast@gmail.com.
But seriously, if you're a Cusack fan, if you're a Loggia fan, if you're a fan of like silly, wish fulfillment, Ute movies, with a guy trying to rescue his girlfriend, being, Cusack's being Cusack.
Sure.
It's fine. Is it as good as the other movies this month? No. But it's not. It's watchable.
Sure.
And I will guarantee you.
And that is the highest compliment you can give a movie.
I guarantee you that people that saw it when it came out probably have a fondness for it.
Yeah. It just doesn't quite have the same catch that these other movies we're covering this week has.
No, because you're right. Because it was poorly put together, let's say.
Yeah.
I don't know if they knew exactly what they were doing. I don't know if the director knew exactly what he was doing. This script did have some problems, and it was pretty goofy. But whatever. I mean, if you like John Cusack, watch this movie. It's definitely better than Serendipity. I guarantee you.
It's definitely worth a watch. Try to find it. It'll be on TV at some point. It'll randomly show up on Pluto TV or something.
Ringing endorsement from your pals at the Gen X Files. Well, we'll be back next week with, we're closing out our Cusack oeuvre with, I think, the best of the bunch, which is One Crazy Summer.
I am so excited.
I love this movie.
I found a out-of-print DVD copy of it.
Nice. And that's the thing. These movies, get them on DVD. Yeah. Don't get them on Blu-ray. Don't get them on HD Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Watch them as they were intended. Scratchy. hairs
Yeah.
wiggling on the frame, scratchy prints.
Yeah.
I just love that stuff. I love I hate watching old movies crisp and clean. It just seems perverse. So find this movie or don't. But be sure to get yourself a copy of One Crazy Summer because we are going to blow it out. And then we're going to finish off the month with a little bit of the stepdad.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
Very underrated movie. Excuse me. I'm going to say this totally wrong.
Shelley Fabre.
Thank you. I knew I was going to say it wrong.
The second lead.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead and say that again. I didn't mean that.
I think my statement's still true.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming, Charlie's Angels, already in progress.